Hey guys, this is What If, and didn't expect to make a video this soon, but we back. So, as you see in the title, um, basically, the Q3 investor call came out yesterday, and Austin Alganoski made a video talking about pretty much one of their couple of key points. And if you want to watch that video, definitely watch it, because without his video, I probably wouldn't have been aware of the Q3 call, because I'm stupid, but... yeah, so I wrote a couple of things down on my notepad here, just a couple of key points, because it was about a 48-minute call, and honestly, it was a disaster, and just pure trying to just control the narrative and control like what is actually going on. And the main theme of this is that they're just delusional. They're just delusional of what's happening around them with how bad the game is in its current state. And they're just straight up lying to their investors on stuff. It's just a disaster. One of their biggest thing is they were unsure of the sales or not sure of how things are going. But you can check up on Steam charts on how the game is doing or how many people are playing it, and the peak players were like 311, and now it's down to like 90 or 100. Like it's dropped down like over 50%, and it's bad. And Heat 5, the previous game, which isn't even really the game that they made, but it's just the previous one that was under their like publishing license or something like that, is doing better. That's not a good look. It's bad. It's really rough. So not only are they lying to their investors, not being honest, they just want to pretend things are fine, and it's not. The game is not fine. It's just insanity. The first thing I noticed is, at least in my notes, is they downplay the game's bugginess as technical glitches. He said that this is common with bugs on this new engine. So they're kind of trying, again, just needlessly trying to downplay the game's issues and all that other sort of stuff. It's baffling. They praised the paint booth, but you can only use it in one of the three modes, which is one of the only game's positive points is the paint booth. But again, when you only can use it in 30% of the game, then what's the point? So that whole thing is stupid. But yeah, they say they boast about having an 18% increase in sales in comparison to E5, and they say that this game has the highest sales for motorsport games ever. Just like, no shit, it's your first game you're ever making. Of course, it's number one in like everything in its sales because it's the first game. So I don't know why that's even mentioned. Again, I'm no businessman, I'm no investor, but like I feel like that's just really stupid when it's your first game ever and you're saying this is the best game we've ever made and it's the best selling one. It's like, well, it's your first one. Of course, it's gonna be the best. That's all there is. There's no bar. So I just thought that was silly. This is probably the craziest shit. Is they mentioned how patch 2 has positive feedback. I remember they were talking about how they implemented over 300 patches and other shit. It's like, that's not something you want to be boasting about. That's not something to be proud about. That's horrible that you release a game in such a terrible state that that there needs to be a patch that addresses 300 different aspects of the game. That's atrocious. That's just a pure case of developers just not having time to put in the things they need. Oh my god. I just don't understand how they think patch 2 had positive feedback. The game is still fundamentally broken across different aspects. The only two things I somewhat noticed is you could turn the steering assist off, and the like cautions come out more often, but we're literally comparing like a 40 car wreck bringing out a caution to a like 5-6 car wreck bringing out a caution, and it's still horrible. It's still like there's improvement, but when you literally start from the from the center of the earth, it's only natural you slightly go up. But it's not. The craziest shit is in this investor call is they say that this patch has swayed the community and now people are praising the game in a better light. Where the fuck are they getting that information from? That's nonsense. Anywhere you look, YouTube, Twitter, the NASCAR Reddit or NASCAR Ignition Reddit, people are flaming this game. Where are they getting this information from? They're not getting this from like some message board or some forum. So I don't know where they're thinking that this is swayed like across everything. Steam as like mostly negative reviews. People are panning this game. Influencers, I mean, including myself, many other people. It's just as Disco Inferno titled this video, pure damage control on all fronts. It's just awful. Oh my god, I don't even know what to say. It's just that's just lie. It's just straight up lying. There's no other way to interpret that. It's just lying to their investors that are backing them. Like, the only way that they're gonna convince their investors that this is true is if they just don't use a computer. I mean, you could just look up online with how this game's been received. There's so much problems and so much shit wrong, especially on the console side of things, that it's laughable. It's laughable how just how much they're trying to sway this narrative of things are fine. In their call too, they mentioned how they want to do more racing games. When this one is just such a catastrophe. Oh my god! When this game is such in a broken disarray state, and they still want to think about making other games, it's just you're gonna have so many different people and different things in different. I wrote this in my notes. It's just too many cooks in the kitchen. That's the best analogy I can kind of come up with it. It's just you have your focus in so many different things. You're not gonna have time for that one specific thing, and it just seems like that's just not in their mind. They just want to make as much profit as possible. And poor IndyCar fans have been winning a game for 15, damn near 15, 16, 17 years. And Motorsport Games have IndyCar in their hands to make a game. And it's probably going to be a disaster. I have no hope for that. It might be slightly better because they'll learn from this abomination to make a less of an abomination thing. But I feel bad for them. So I have no hope in that or any other of their games at this moment because they've proven that they can't be trusted, especially in this investor call. They simply just can't be trusted. And now we know. Now we absolutely know why this game, not much information was coming out, and why this was why it took so long for gameplay to come out and other sorts of things. Now we know. They were hiding stuff because this game was broken. Fundamentally broken across anything. Just trying to run a 15% race where the AI pit strategy just doesn't work, or the cars or the caution doesn't come out, or when a yellow actually does eventually come out, the AI glitch out or freak out and do other kinds of shit, and everything. There's just so much broken stuff where the AI lag and glitch and stuff, speed up forward, just destroying you and just ruining your race, or even in Michael Mrutz's case where if he signed a contract at I guess the wrong time, I think it was a race before the season ended. And it didn't get improved until after Daytona. So now he's in this. He got into this endless loop where he was always in a 36 race contract, and he would always miss Daytona 500. Therefore, he would miss the chase and the playoffs, and he wouldn't contend for a championship. So he was just in an endless loop of just not being able to compete for a title because of that. And it's stupid. And if you try to qualify for Daytona 500, the game just crashes. I mean, considering that's such a consistent issue, that should be something that should be able to be patched. But again, the AI lagging and glitching forward is such a common occurrence at certain tracks like Daytona and Atlanta and stuff. You would think that would have been patched because that's such a consistent issue that keeps popping up. When it comes to patching stuff, they have to replicate that sort of thing in order to fix it in their code or whatever. So the fact that happens so much and it's still not getting fixed is really bizarre. Which I'm praying it gets fixed in patch 3, but I have no fucking clue. Who the hell knows? But yeah, the game's in a broken, disastrous mess, and they still want to mention how they want to do different games. I don't know. It just if I was in that position, again, I'm no businessman. Probably all of my methods are trash, but if I knew that a game was in such a disarray and just a mess, my last thought would be trying to make more games. I would halt production on all of it just to focus on this one right now and literally put 110% commitment into fixing this game so it's in a stable condition. I don't know. They discuss esports, which again is irrelevant because with so much wrong with this game, there's just that should be none of their concern. It really shouldn't. It just the game doesn't even have fucking private lobbies. It doesn't even have any way to like control like who controls it or to kick people or manage anything, and they want to focus on esports like for like I guess the NASCAR side. It's like how this game is literally impossible to fucking race with like friends, just strictly your friends. Like I don't know. It's just like the last thing that should be on their minds is esports because like this game is such a mess. That should not even be their priority. Then it gets into their financial earnings and losses throughout the call. I wrote down here that they said that they had 2.1 million for the third quarter of 2021, and then a 9 million third quarter for 2020. So they have a net loss. Though again, they repeat throughout the call many times that because that there's no new game, that this is why the numbers are low, which is true, but it's more of just the numbers, their net loss. That's the biggest concern. Is just the net loss. They mentioned that they had a 6.7 million net loss income, and then they gained 2.6 million. That's still a net loss of 4.1 million. That's still a massive net loss. They said that their loss was higher than what analysts expected, and they expect, at least with NASCAR 21, at least for this year, or maybe next year into like the first quarter, they expect to have a revenue of 20.5 million for, I'm assuming, just NASCAR and like the Switch version as well, which I just can't imagine that they would even get that. If we look at Steam, for example, this is like, obviously this is just an estimate because with Steam it's hard to even really tell, like, because we don't know the numbers for like the consoles like Xbox and like PS4. Like we don't know what those numbers are, but we can just kind of base the Steam side of things. Here's my calculator. So there was a peak of 311 players online, or at least that got the game. That was their peak amount of people getting the game. So if you times that by a bare minimum of like 60, that's $18,660. Then if you factor in maybe some people bought the Champions Edition, that could be even a little bit more than that. Maybe 21,000. I'm just guessing. I can just do that right now. 311 times 90. If everyone got it, like everyone got the $90 edition, that's 20. That's either 18,000 or 27,000. Again, still way under the 20.5 million estimate. And then we have to factor in like refunds, because they did say in their call that refunds were factored into this as well. So again, still there's only like less than 100 people playing this game, or a little bit over 100. So if we factor in even, $90 times like 110, that's $9,900, and then that's even less than that, maybe 8,700 or something. For like they lost, at least as of right now, based on refunds, at least 30 to 50% of their income. They've lost at least that much, and that's just on the Steam side of things. So obviously all of their money can't be going all through Steam. Obviously that can't be the case, because they're making mincemeat in terms of just revenue. Like, this is just nothing. So I'm assuming the bulk of it has to come from the console side of things, which we don't know those type of numbers. But how many people are even playing this is hard to say, because there's no like online lobbies to say how many people have been into it. Like with Heat 5, you can kind of gauge on how many people bought the game, or how many lobbies were active, or people were playing, based on like the numbers that they would show in the lobby. But this game doesn't have that, so we don't know. So based on the Steam stuff, it's a net loss on all fronts in terms of revenue, and that's not even factoring in so many different things, whether it's advertisements, whether it's sponsoring a NASCAR Cup car, which we already know is a lot of money to begin with. So there's a lot of money, and they're not getting much back, at least in terms of the Steam side of things. And who knows what it could be for the console side of things. But I can't imagine, based on the feedback this game has gotten, that this is going to be a net positive gain on any front. The game that might even sell the best is just the Switch version, just because it's like the Heat 5 Ultimate Edition. That's like a stable fucking game. So maybe people will actually want to buy that. So probably most of the revenues actually going to probably come from that, if I had to guess, based on all this stuff. But yeah, but they already confirmed that NASCAR 22 is already in the works. So yeah, like I was kind of speculating that they were already working on the next game. Yeah, they're already working on this one. Which is interesting because I remember with the 704 stuff that they were saying how they begin essentially their next cycle, or they begin working on the game the very, very next year. Like the game would always come out in September. They would patch it for the next 3 months, and then they would start working on the next game, and then they would work on that for like 7 to 8 months. So as of right now, I mean, they are already like they're like. I don't know how much more this game can get patched or fixed. I mean, they only have planned for like one more patch, and there's already been like rumors or like potential leaks because in the game's stupid like dumb file on like the PS4 side of things, Michael Moore's accidentally discovered by a mere glitch that it looks like there might be either a Michael Waltrip or a Matt Kenseth legend car or something as like DLC to buy, and the last thing again they need to worry about is adding more DLC, because that's just more things wrong with this game. But we'll talk more about DLC because I'm going to get to the next point. They in the call they mentioned they want to do like an ultimate team. Just like, oh my fucking god! If this is like Madden, then this is like more ways to try to like monetize their fucking game. They literally are becoming EA. If not, they've been like that already. I mean, this is just pathetic. Why even consider Ultimate Team? Why even consider trying to do more shit when so much of this game is broken? It's just, I don't know. I have absolutely no fucking idea. It's embarrassing. It's sad. And it's a shame that the NASCAR fans have to deal with this bullshit. It really fucking is. It's such a shame. I mean, we've been put through the ringer for 10 plus years with these shitty games. And they want to try to be like EA with Ultimate Team. I mean, this sounds like microtransaction nightmare bullshit. Is it going to be a pay-to-play? Is that where we're going to head in? Are we going to have to pay people like money for a fucking mirror and a track map and other little trinkets that should have been basic things? Like, who knows what they can do? They can exploit the living shit out of this. And then, Jesus Christ. Then they also mentioned that there has been a majority 180 flip since the patch came out, which is, they're referring to the second patch, which is, what are they talking about? Where are they getting this where is this majority 180 flip? I don't see it on Steam. I don't see it on the consoles. Where are they getting this information from? It's just nonsense. They're just delusional beyond comprehension. Like, that's like, it's just it. I honestly don't believe. I don't honestly think they believe that. But this is just their way of trying to calm their investors, or trying to assure their investors that things are fine. They aren't being honest with them. That's gonna bite them in the ass beyond words of madness, because that's not what you want to do. They are backing this game. And again, I just wish that they could not have released this game in the state that they did. If they were to be able to talk to NASCAR or talk to their license, whatever, and their investors and explain, look, we can't release this game because it's an absolute mess. It just doesn't work. We don't even have stages, and people are going to hate this. This will tank our company if we do this, if we release it. We need to push this back at least another quarter, at least 3 or 4 months, or whatever the next end of the next quarter is, March or February. I don't know, to at least get this game in a stable condition where people can actually do 15% races and AI won't pit and mess up their whole strategy, or we'll have a fuel and tire wear indicator and like how many laps they have on fuel and other sorts of like basic fundamental things like that. Like as Disco Inferno said, contracts are meant to be broken. They are meant to be broken, especially in this state with how bad this game is. And if NASCAR truly wanted them to release this pile of shit, then, shame on them. Shame on them for licensing a product and not giving the developers time to actually develop the game as they're supposed to, because developing a game takes time. I don't buy the bullshit that it took them 2 years to build this game. Some time was put into it, but certainly not a whole lot. Or at least put into the wrong areas, like driving into the garage, which is absolutely fucking pointless. Or the AI can't even get out of the garage half the time and run into each other. Or when a caution comes out, it just breaks the game and the AI go crazy. Or if you have damage on full, you tap the wall a little bit and it just pops your tire. Or you hit the wall with your side or with your rear end and that breaks the tire. Like, everything you do pops a tire. It's comical. Or, the AI lag freezing glitch thing where, like, you slow down and they, like, speed up or whatever that is and they just wreck and there's no caution and there's, like, a 40-car pileup. Michael Roots, for example, this happened to him in his stream where it happened to him. He literally walked away out of frustration. And obviously cautions were off. But the AI is so brain dead that he's parked up against the wall and the AI just full throttle right into him. His car goes in the infield, through the grass, comes back up on the racing surface, sits there. The AI come back around another lap and hit him again. How is that good? How is that good AI? Even if they fixed all these bugs, all the technical bugs to make this game stable, there are still rooted issues like the AI. Like the fact there's no stages, the fact that private lobbies don't exist, the fact there's no fucking mirror in a racing game. Like, this game is fundamentally, and I keep saying that word a lot because it is objectively, this game is fucked. This game is absolutely destroyed, like, from its core. There is nothing that they can do that can absolutely elevate this game into a 180. Like, they think... oh, fuck. Oh, my God. I'm getting pissed off. Like, again, I do want to preface that, like, this, like covering these games and doing Let's Plays of them, at least with at this time of the year, because I've done other stuff when, like, new games come out and stuff, but, like, during this time of the year, this is, like, my main bread and butter of, like, releasing, like, Let's Play videos and other sort of stuff just to, make a living. And the fact that playing the game is such a nightmare that I can't even do that fucking sucks for me. What sucks more is the fact that consumers have bought this game and they released it in this state, and it just doesn't seem like they really care. If they really cared about their consumer, they would have waited to release this game. And I don't care. Is that the reason why this game was rushed and there's missing things? Yes, that's why. This shit is an absolute disaster because the developers just didn't have time. Give the best person in the world literally like a day or a week to code something or to make a game. It's not going to be that good. There's no way. You need to give them time. And clearly, they didn't have time. It seemed like, based on their codes, like I was saying in the other video, that they wanted to add stages. They wanted to add you having control of the car in their caution. But they probably realized really early on that, oh shit, we're not going to be able to put this in the game on time. And then they just started just axing shit. That's why we don't have a mirror. That's why there's so many different things missing, is because they just were rushed. And that's why I believe that there's no way in fuck that they spent 2 years working on this. Because if they actually did spend 2 years working on it, then definitely 95% was just spent to just graphics, and that might have been it. Because certainly not much was put into any other aspects of this game. And it's a shame. And that's what pisses me off the most, is customers and consumers actually, paid this game with their hard-earned money, and they can't even get a playable experience. And to the 5 people that can actually get a playable experience, congratulations, you're the minority, unfortunately, that can play the game stably. But literally 99% have had issues where they can't, that's why in my career mode I can't even do a 25% race. Because it just wouldn't be possible, especially with tire wear and fuel, because the AI would pit. They would pit multiple times, and it would just screw up their entire race, and then I would win, and then that would be entertaining, because every race would be very predictable. It's not fun when every race I have to adjust the freaking the settings, whether it be the traction control, the steering assist, or any other sort of crap, to just get the game to be consistent. I'm trying to do a Charlotte race, and I can't even go straight in a fucking straightaway. That's not an aspect of me just being that fucking bad. That's just a game of just being straight up just stupid and just unplayable at times. Other tracks can be completely fine and there's not much really issues. But then the AI are an issue. There's so much broken things wrong in how the car handles from track to track and other sorts of things that how I can't fathom. They already apparently threw in 300 patches and fixes, but I didn't notice much to fix and save this game. So I have no idea. They praised, the last thing I want to mention, this is one of the last important notes I have, is they praised their QA team. And I groaned about that because it's not the QA's fault, but I'm very curious if they told them what was wrong with this game, or I like to know the context behind that. Because who at QA, whether it be Microsoft, Sony, or their company itself, looked at this game and thought that this was okay to release? I have no fucking idea. But they must be happy that they got praised by the QA team. Maybe they just didn't want to say anything, and they just think they're I don't know. It's frustrating. It's really a shame. It's really a shame to see this game in this kind of like just fuckery and just absolute disaster. And I just like, unfortunately, like, and that's like the shitty thing. It puts me and other content creators, at least the ones that should have, cognitive, sensible, knowledge, that, you're trying to make videos or try to play this game and it just doesn't function properly, and you have to do all these sort of crazy shit and adjust so many different things to make the game almost playable. Like, if I truly had the game on like extreme difficulty and try to race, there would be nothing. I would just be in last the whole time, almost every single race, and there would just be nothing going on. That's not fun. That's just torture. So that's why, at least in Radden's case, why he changes stuff up like that every race. That's why I do that too. I'll plow through it. I'll find a way to plow right through it and just go on. But there won't be too much past career mode after that. Maybe like a dumb meme series, like I said, where I can like sim or like win the 500, sim the rest of the season, get to the playoffs, and then kind of go from there and just show how just not only stupid the this chase format is, but also how this game just doesn't really penalize you for simming, which should be a pretty hefty penalty across all fronts. But they actually make you finish decent, so there's like almost no incentive. So it's like if you're running bad at, say, like Darlington, you're running last, just give up. Just give up, sim, and you'll finish better than 40th. Yeah, just there's no incentive to even play the game. Like, it's that stupid. It was kind of like this is kind of an issue that's been like in like Heat 5 as well, where if you could just sim a race and it would put you like 24th or like 16th or something, and if you're running like 35th, then that's a net gain. I don't know, but yeah, that's my thoughts. I don't want to get into another rant that's like an hour and a half long again, but that's just my thoughts on the investor call and how it went. I know Austin pretty much made an epic video that really mentioned all the key points, but I wanted to kind of listen to the whole thing and kind of mention a couple of other different things, because there's a couple little bits of information I thought was interesting. And again, I'm no businessman. I don't know how half this shit works, but looking at their site and their stock prices going down, that's not a good sign. Also, even their stock prices are like on their actual website, and then if you just type in Motorsport Games stock prices, you can see that's going down, which is not a good sign. And funny enough, when this game came out, that's when the stock prices dipped. So, can they recover? I don't know. Who knows? Unless it's patch 3, unless they No Man's Sky this shit, I can't imagine them saving this game. With it being a year, with No Man's Sky, they didn't have a yearly release, binded to them. They didn't have to. They could literally take months off at a time to just work on the game and add in new patches and fix the game. And that took, even then, that still took a long time to get that game in a stable state and to get everything in there that fans would want from that game originally. That's not the case here. There's no way they can realistically No Man's Sky this. There's at least in the allotted time frame, there's no way. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned on the WhatiFRacing network to see what more of a shit show this becomes, because this message definitely needs to be heard, and I think this needs to be spread out through the community. And I think it's appropriate when a game is this broken to push back and essentially hit them where where it hurts by not doing anything, but not buying the game. And I hate being in that kind of position because they gave it to me for free, but I can't accept something like this, and I can't sit here and try to pretend like things are fine and not to panic. I'm not gonna do that. I even when I got the offer for when I became like their influencer thing for like Heat 4 and stuff, I was thinking to myself, this is really cool, but I don't want to lose my integrity in being honest with the consumer and the viewer. I'm not gonna sell out and just bullshit people. I can't, even if that makes me at risk to lose this deal or whatever I have with them. I don't know, but I'm not gonna just pretend things are fine. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not. And that's why I really advise and encourage people that really want to. My hair is really bugging me today, isn't it? I keep flipping it, but but if you really want to support or really want to get that message heard, or anything, the content creators like Disco Inferno, Ryan Moody, who's actually doing more of these videos lately, and Oz Naganoski have been making fantastic videos, ripping this game apart in a constructive way and explaining what is wrong. And I think those three are a very good example to do that. And I really think that if more people came out and just said, hey, I can't do a career mode on this game, it's broken, it's just unplayable, and I can't do it. That's all you would need to do. And explain that the game in its current state can't be played like this. And it won't be fun. I think if more people push back, and I think if more people really advocated to not buy this game in its current state like this, like, I don't even think even Black Friday sales, people should even still buy it. It all depends on if the game could just fucking function and not fall apart, like the speed glitches, the AI freaking out in pit stops, to actually have normal pit strategies or normal race that the AI don't pit twice and screw up the whole strategy of a race, or when the AI pit, the AI's like hitting themselves into the pit wall. There's literally like tons and tons of issues. If somehow all that could be fixed, then maybe this game will be worth $5. But in its state, no. And I can't imagine that they're going to fix that amount of deep-rooted issues. So I'll be amazed if they were able to. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm done. Thank you for watching. I don't even know what more to say at this point. But yeah, thank you. Just we'll see what happens with this. And I'll be sure to make more videos on the matter. So either way, that'll do it for me. I'll see you all later, and have a good day, everyone.